Hi, it's Nicole, and I'm back again with Positive Impact for Mind and Body. I'm so excited to be back. It has been one heck of a summer. I don't know, personally, for me, it's been one heck of a summer. Maybe for you, it was fine. I had a lot of challenges to overcome. I had to move. I've been looking for a house for 8 months to move to, so we finally did. But I had to move to a temporary house, and then we moved to the real house, and we might have to move again. So there's so many things going on right now that are filtering into the reality of trying to run a business and trying to stay fit at the same time. I'm sure you're going through the same things. And I just want to remind everyone how important it is to share and like the podcast, and maybe even follow me if you want more information, or you can join my email newsletter list on mindbodymastery.org. My handle on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at NicolesMBM. So I'm always there. I'm always here to help you in any way I can possibly help you. I will. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing to get fit or to stay fit. I think it's just phenomenal how many people are aware that this time of year represents a new, if you're a parent, right? It's the happiest time of year. Your children are going back to school, and you get the opportunity to spend a little more time on yourself, which is so important. And you have the maybe the initiative to lose a few pounds after too many summer s'mores over fires and drinking beers and things like that. So it's a good time to refocus your mind and your body to things that you need to do for yourself. I know personally I get bored, and I think I've talked about this, in fact, a little bit in the past. I get bored with my workouts. And don't you? Do you get bored? Yes. If you have an interesting way that you're working out, please share it in the chat, share it with each other here, because we all need inspiration periodically. And maybe it's not inspiration, maybe we need divine intervention. So if you're listening right now, maybe this is your cue. This is what you need to get fit, happy, and healthy again. And you will get some information from this podcast right here. So as you can imagine, I've just moved, okay? And that took a huge toll on my mind and body. It was, all moves, unless you're like, 22 and you have 2 boxes to bring wherever you go. You've accumulated stuff. So I still haven't even put up my wonderful paintings, my word paintings. So what I found difficult was not just getting motivated. I have plenty of motivation. My issue has been energy. Such an energy drain to move. It was so overwhelming. And you kind of forget while you're not moving, but when you move, you keep thinking about how you're going to downsize. But at any rate, I did manage to get back on track with my workouts last week. Very happy and excited to do so. I started interval running, run walking, which I also have some injuries I have to be careful about, but that's how I get back into it. I also joined a different gym, stimulating different ideas about how to work out. And I loved it because I've had such a great time watching other people work out. I know I do work out, but what I did was I videotaped a break dancer. And I was fascinated by this guy. He was doing his break dance routine as his workout. That was like phenomenal. I love that idea. So I videotaped him and I asked, do you mind if I put you on my Instagram? He said, no, I'd love that. And I said, how, by any chance, I don't want to be rude, but how old are you? He said he was turning 40, a 40-year-old break dancer. I loved it. And I'm going to be posting later today another gentleman, not in his 40s. He probably is in his 20s. I didn't have as lengthy a conversation with him, but he turned to gymnastics for his workout, not a traditional free weight program. This guy is phenomenal. He didn't start out being a gymnast. He started out lifting weights like all of us. He's also a personal trainer, and he started doing this routine in the middle of the free weight floor, which I was blown away. So, or a free functional training floor. But anyway, I will post that later on Instagram just to give you all a little bit of inspiration on how to get fit. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it's not gymnastics. Maybe it's not free weights. Maybe you hate running. But there's so many things you could do out there to keep fit and healthy. One of the things that I found fascinating, have you ever watched a fencing match? So, first of all, you're wearing layers and layers and layers of padded clothing, right? You're not going to sweat at all in that. I'm being sarcastic. Of course, you're going to sweat. And then there's a lot of leg movement and upper body movement and strength you need to perform the fencing. I think that's a phenomenal way to get fit. A couple of other ideas are you may want to try a ballet class, like a beginner ballet class, and not a point class, but just something to start you moving your body in a different way. Now, that's going to do a few things. It's going to call different muscles into place so that your body's actually burning more calories and fat than it would doing the same thing you've done for the last 3 years. So fencing is a great way to do that. Gymnastics is a great way to do that. A beginning ballet class would be phenomenal to do. I've also taken rock climbing courses. I love the idea of building a new skill into whatever I do physically. So if it's not anything that is dangerous, obviously I wouldn't recommend doing anything dangerous. But if it's something that does utilize different muscle groups than you're used to using, horseback riding can be a challenge for some people. You should try everything under the sun to get you back on track that keeps you motivated and keeps you happy doing it, because that's going to fire different neurosynaptic connections. Endorphins will increase, and in some cases, my son just said he went to a concert and he was in the middle of a mosh pit. And not only did he have to be strong to kind of stabilize himself, but there's a certain endorphin rush when people are carrying you overhead, just saying. So there's a lot of ways that you can encourage yourself to enjoy loving and being fit in your body. This brings me to another little detail. So as I observed throughout this summer, all the changes, all the shifts, all the things that we did, having to decide when I was moving what was going to this summer home that we were lucky enough to stay in while we waited for our rental to be ready. So that was a stress, a strain, a distraction. I had to figure out what was going to the temporary house, what was going to the semi-permanent house, and what was going into storage. We have 5 storage units, right? And I'm thinking about this whole process, and I was just about to, before the summer, I was just about to launch some new products and services online that I really believe in. And I hear people talk about costs a lot. They don't want to spend too much money on fitness. They don't want to spend too much money on mind-body awareness or wellness. So I've created some products that I think are going to really be very helpful and beneficial to everyone who's interested in finding more peace and grace in their mind and body, and feeling like they're connecting with something a little more deeply than just, the surface, what needs to be done here and there, and how much weight I have to lose and things like that, although it will help you lose weight too. But I was just about to launch a lot of these products last spring when I discovered I was having such a hard time finding a house. And it wasn't just finding a house. It was fencing for, it was bidding war after bidding war after bidding war about, how much money to put into this. Is it worth it? Will we get it back in the future, et cetera? So I really had to hone in on that. Where are you going to live? It's so root chakra. Where are you going to live? You need to figure that one out before anything else. So it started to occur to me that maybe there was something else going on, because every time I'm at a place where I'm almost ready to kind of break through a glass ceiling or introduce something revolutionary or do something new, every single time I find myself in a position like this. Oh, you have to find a house. This is way more important than getting in shape. or rolling out your new products and services. You have to find a house. So I was debating, going back and forth. A couple of things came to mind. One, everyone goes through this, right? At some point or another in their lives, which may or may not be true. But the reality is, uh, it has been almost consistent with me. Um, the first time we moved, it was the bombing of the World Trade Center. The second time we moved, it was 9/11. The third time we moved was a massive tornado. This time we moved, it was Ida. I just like, why is that always the case? So anyway, what I came to the conclusion was, and I did do a lot of channeled sessions with Metatron and Raphael and Raziel, and apparently, and this is what I wrote in my newsletter. So if you want more information about those channeled sessions, you can always go to mindbodymastery.org and sign up for the newsletter. But in my last newsletter, I kind of came to the conclusion, especially after these channeled sessions with the angels, that certain people on earth right now are actually perfect carriers of a vibration of light that will help our souls evolve. Now, if you are spiritual at all, if you ever had the practice of meditation and you know what it's like to feel that clarity, to feel that peace, to feel the healing that happens within you when you naturally move into that meditative state, maybe you too have been distracted from getting to that state. And I'll tell you why. It's because you are a potential carrier of that vibration of light. And basically, there are forces at work that would prefer to keep us down, that would prefer that we not evolve, that we don't bring in the light, that we don't clarify for everyone truth and help each other. They want to keep us separate. They want to keep us under energized. They want to keep us distracted. So all of these distractions that I've been talking about for the last year was illuminated to me during a channeled session that I am as well, maybe you are too, a potential carrier of this higher vibration of light. So things like working out, things like meditating, things like deliberately channeling and pulling in that light force, that Christ light, is out the window because we're so worried about COVID. We're so worried about our children in school. We're so worried about the economy, the government, Afghanistan, the climate change. Everything, right, becomes the distraction from us serving the light. So we really have to organize it in our own minds and make it a priority to meditate and to stay in that light place, because otherwise we're going to lose this opportunity where there's several gateways that are opening energetically across the entire world. We might lose this opportunity to channel in that higher vibration and really raise each other up and raise the vibration of who we are, what we have to offer, and our soul's ability to grow and develop the way they should, the way that God has always intended. So what I'm looking for more importantly is, for me personally, and maybe this is for yourself, is to really clarify what's important to me. And when I did that, I don't know if you could see my little stars on the back wall there. Tiny stars, big ideas. That's going to be a post soon. But when I did all of that, what I realized was, this is my priority. I love you guys. I love being able to share great ideas with you. I love having new guests on, which is also going to be very interesting. This season, this fall season, I have several new guests that promise to be pretty fun. I can't wait to interview them and have them on. They have their own ideas about mind and body, but also ideas that can help you attain your goals. And I'll get to that in a minute. But what we have to do is really hone in on our priorities. And if meditation for you does it, make that your freaking priority. Maybe you don't really need to stay up till midnight watching TV. Maybe you should head up to bed at 9:30 and start meditating for an hour. Maybe you'll even sleep better. There's a thought, right? So these are all things that I think that are going to help us raise our vibration, raise the light force, and keep us happy and healthy. If we continually buy into the fear and all those other distractions that I just named, then we're going to drop our level of energy, and that's going to invite catastrophe. Okay, so we have to be on point with this. We have to always be on board with our own agenda before we make something else our cause. And this is the other point I wanted to bring up. Someone recently, a new client that I gave an assessment to, was relaying to me how horrible her life is, how things are going terribly, and she's got this to worry about, that, and the other thing. She listed off a laundry list of horrible things that are happening. And I just pointed out to her, you have a choice. And that's what the angels say. The angels all say the same thing. You have a choice. You can choose to focus on those things, or you can choose to focus on the things that give you light, that give you energy, that give you that sustaining joy that gets you through your day, through your workout, and brings you to a place where your goals can be met. And that's not just for the light, but for your weight loss goals, your fitness goals. In every single way, you are going to succeed because you're focusing on the right thing. So we always have a choice. We can focus on what the distraction is. And we can't help anyone. This is what I was saying to my new client. We can't help anyone if we're distracted, or if we're not healthy, or we're not balanced. We can't help anyone then. So that's got to be the priority right now. And so many of my friends who are spiritually oriented are finding the same thing. They are taking a step back, listing their priorities in order, and then realigning their day to match their priorities, not the other way around, and not allowing social media and news to manipulate their minds into a place of fear. So that being said, that's the end of that lecture. Now, I just wanted to tell you all that I'm so excited. I have a couple of fantastic guests that are coming up this fall. One is Tom Laidlaw. He's a very famous Ranger. Hockey. If you're into hockey, you're going to love listening to him. I love him just because he's got such a great attitude towards health and fitness, and he still works out to this day. He's very dedicated. He has some interesting ideas about his workout. But the second thing I wanted to tell you about, which I'm also very excited, because if you are actually able to see this at some point during the day, that tells me you probably own your own business, or you do something on the side that you'd like to make that side hustle the real thing for real money. I have a great guest coming on October 13th. I know it's not a Tuesday, Thursday, but I'm moving the podcast to a Wednesday so that I'm available for her, because she is so on point when it comes to marketing your genius. And that's the name of her book. Her name is Nikki Nash, and she's a new Hay House author that I'm so excited to have on the show. I can tell you personally, I've been in this business for a long time, fitness, wellness, weight loss, etc. And I've been marketing and doing the social media thing and writing blogs and getting the podcasts out there and writing newsletters. But this lady has nailed it. And when I say nailed it, so I have often thought of hiring a marketing professional. The thing that stops me, though, and maybe this has stopped you if you own your own wellness or fitness business, or even if it's just a side hustle that you enjoy, painting or writing children's poems. This lady, I so admire, because in my business, I find it very difficult to find a professional marketer that can speak to my industry. And what the problem I have with my industry is that there's a crossover. I'm a psychic on one hand, and I'm a certified personal trainer with 30 years experience in the fitness industry. I felt very comfortable with this lady, Nikki Nash. So I hope you will too, and I hope you will gain some nuggets of wisdom and clarity in your own business, in your own marketing, because when I was growing up, we all agreed in my house that at some point you were going to have to sell something, right? You're going to have to sell a product, a service, yourself. You're going to have to sell something. So I found her information to be super, super valuable and so exciting to hear her articulate specific issues and problems that I have faced time and time again with my own marketing, my own business. So I think she's going to be a really exciting guest to have on. There's a couple of others that are going to be coming on, but I don't have the specific date, so I will fill you in as we move forward. Next week, I hope to have a new trainer who I worked with for many years on my podcast. He's new to my podcast, but he is a great trainer, and I hope to get him on there. So I will let you know the deets as we move forward. Like I said, I'll be posting on Positive Impact as well as Facebook, my page, Mind Body Mastery, and YouTube to let you know when they'll be on. The last thing I wanted to say was happy fall. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for joining me. If you had a few minutes today to hear a little bit more exciting ways to work out, new guests, I have new products and services coming out, but more importantly, it's so fantastic to connect with you again. Please share, like, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Nicole's MBM. And I'm happy to include all this information in the chat. You can also you can sign up for my newsletter at Mind Body Mastery. Oops. You can usually contact me through the contact information there, but you can also, like I said, I'm at Nicole's MBM on all that social media. Feel free, though, if you have any questions about fitness, weight loss, or if you'd like a psychic reading, that's the thing. The psychic readings have been so helpful for people who are stuck, either in their fitness or weight loss journey, or they can't figure out why their body is suffering some disease, illness, or pain. I can usually help you out. So that being said, thanks so much for joining me on Positive Impact for Mind and Body. I hope to see you next week, Tuesday, Thursday at 1 p.m. See you soon. Bye.